talk just a little bit about what inspires me for Millennium Development Goals and the work that I have done. And I'd be glad to share some of that. And after I do, I'm going to pose a controversial question. So if you get bored with what I've been doing, keep hanging in there because I will pose a controversial question for you that we'll spend our last minute. So last year, 2 years ago, sorry, I took a trip with Physical Relief and Development. I've been a proponent of the Millennium Development Goals starting at the last General Convention with EGR, gave a little bit of money, write some resolutions, and help get through the process. I know the process of how to get resolutions. It doesn't always work, but in this case it did. And so I was very involved with EGR in that way. Then Physical Relief and Development invited me to go with them to their Nets for Life rollout in Zambia, which I did. It was a long trip. I was there already in South Africa for a Towards Effective Anglican Mission meeting, which was Anglicans from around the world gathering together to talk about mission. After that, I went with Physical Relief and Development to Zambia. We rolled out, quote unquote, this Nets for Life program. Well, ERD works with local governments and local Anglican churches, and they were all ready to do this rollout. They had people don't read in this village, so all of the information about mosquito nets education was done in drama. They would get up, and then we had this hot day, and people got up in the middle of this circle of, there must have been maybe 1,500 people there with umbrellas. People were trying to keep the sun off. Tons of little kids running around. And did these role plays to explain about mosquito nets and what they're for and how they can prevent malaria. And the army was there. The Zambian army came to march with us through the town. There were 6 people, the whole army, and they all played the trombone. So we marched through the town, them playing the trombone, little kids running in and out, dogs. It was just a total trip. Color all over. It was great music. Just wonderful. We did this skit. They passed out these mosquito nets, 1,500 mosquito nets. People were lined up to get these mosquito nets. But the big problem is people didn't know how to install. So out comes this parade of Anglicans from the 3 congregations in the surrounding village, and they all had on t-shirts that the Physical Relief and Development provided for them that said mosquito control agent on the t-shirt. And they set up stations and they explained, they're local people, and they explained to everybody how to set up these mosquito nets. And then they ask people, you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself, I'll come by your house and do this for you. So, sure enough, people said, yeah, come on over, let's get these in. So, people were going, we went to people's houses, picking up these mosquito nets, and going to the houses was absolutely unbelievable. 10 kids living with a grandma, because, of course, the grandfather had on the Zambezi River, which is where the African Queen was filmed. Some of you are probably too young to remember the African Queen, but if you've never seen it, it's great. So get it from Netflix. Blockbuster or something. Cool movie. Anyway, it was filmed on the Zambezi River. So we got to go. There's a game reserve, this very small game reserve on one side of the Zambezi River, and we got to go in a boat down the Zambezi River and look at the wildlife that was on the side. And there was, when we got out off the boat and walked into the game reserve, we got to see from afar this unbelievably beautiful white rhinoceros. At that time there were only 3 of them in Africa. And there was one, and we got to see it from far away. And the people that were so proud. It was their rhinoceros, and they told us everything about this rhinoceros, how old it was, how long it had been there, how rare it is, how beautiful the horn was, and it was lumbering across the It was a majestic sight. The trip was great. It was just wonderful. So about 2 weeks after I was home, I was sitting at my kitchen table, and I was looking through the New York Times, and on a kind of an obscure back page was a little article on that, and it said, "Rare white rhinoceros poached for horn." What that meant is that someone in the village went into the game reserve and killed the rhinoceros to get the horn to sell, because they're valuable items on the black market. They're supposed to have magic properties. The relationship for me there was the pride that the people had with this rhinoceros and the poverty that they lived in could not coexist. That rhinoceros was killed because of poverty. Plain and simple. Somebody needed that money so badly that they took the life of this rhinoceros to get money from selling it. Poverty is, we can solve poverty. That is my example of every time I think about giving money or what I can do, that beautiful lumbering rhinoceros and those proud people, I see their